Hello everyone. In this video, we will be discussing important MCQ questions for your AWS certification exams. The first question is, what is the primary purpose of AWS IAM? What is IAM? Identity and Access Management. So what is the primary purpose of this AWS IAM? It is security and access management. This is a service that will enable you to manage and access the AWS resources securely. IAM provides fine-grained access control, identity management and authentication mechanism so that only the authorized user and services can be accessed by the AWS resources. Next, which AWS service provider or which AWS service provides object storage? It is S3. S3 provides object storage. What does S3 stands for? Simple Storage Service. I bet multiple students will be knowing what is S3, but they won't be knowing the full form of it, right? This provides durable, scalable and secure object storage for data. S3 stores data as objects within the buckets and provides features like data versioning, lifecycle management and cross-region replication. Next, what is the difference between AWS EC2 and Lambda? So the difference between EC2 and Lambda, EC2 here requires provisioning, whereas Lambda does not. I repeat, EC2, that is your Elastic Cloud. EC2, what does this is? Your Elastic Cloud Compute, right? It requires provisioning of virtual machines to run application. That is, it will be requiring the instances to run applications. Here instances will be required by EC2, whereas in Lambda these instances are not required. Correct? And we can say that these Lambda, this is a serverless. Lambda, it is a serverless compute service that runs code without provisioning or managing services. Next, which AWS database service is NoSQL? Which is that NoSQL? It is DynamoDB, right? AWS DynamoDB is a fully managed NoSQL database service that provides high performance, scalability and low latency for the applications. Here this DynamoDB provides support documents, key value as well as graph data modules. Next, what is AWS VPC? What is VPC? Virtual Private Cloud, right? This AWS VPC provides a secure, isolated environment for the AWS resources. VPC will allow you to create a virtual network and custom IP address ranges, various subnets and also ACLs, that is access control list, to secure your resources. So VPC is your virtual private cloud, option A. Next, which AWS service provides load balancing, right? So which is them? All of them provides here load balancing. Load balancing. First of all, let's look at the ELB. ELB is your Elastic Load Balancing. This will distribute the incoming traffic across multiple EC2 instances, right? Then ALB is your Application Load Balancer. This application load balancer will occur at the application layer and it will provide advanced routing and target grouping capabilities. Then if we talk about NLB, that is your Network Load Balancer. This will offer high performance, ultra low latency load balancing, and this will be working at the network layer. So right option, option 5. Next, what is AWS CloudWatch? AWS CloudWatch is basically what? It is used for AWS CloudWatch. It is used for monitoring and logging devices. So right option is option A. It is used for monitoring and logging devices, right? As I mentioned, this will give the performance analysis for the AWS resources. It will collect various metrics, logs, performance data that will help us to optimize the resource utilization. It will help us to troubleshoot and also ensure the compliances. Next, which AWS service provides email services? It is SES, that is simple email service. This will provide email sending and receiving capabilities for the application. This SES will support bulk email sending, email marketing and transactional emails. Whereas SNS is your simple notification service. SNS is your simple notification service. What does this SNS is used for? It is for sending and receiving the notification from your cloud. Right? Next, what is AWS auto scaling? Whenever there is a high demand, right? So auto scaling will be used at the time for allocating more resources. So the right option here becomes automatic resource provisioning. This is your AWS auto scaling, right? The services that are used here is SageMaker. The services that will be used here is basically, we can say there is a sudden demand and we need more instances, correct? So more EC2 instances will be developed, correct? It will help us to scale ECS, correct? And also will allow more optimal resource utilization and cost efficiency. Next, which AWS service provides machine learning capabilities? It is all above the above. SageMaker, Recognition, Comprehend, they all provide machine learning capabilities. If we talk about SageMaker, right, this will help us to build, train and deploy various machine learning models. Recognition, it will provide the computer vision, correct? It will provide the computer vision capabilities for various images and video analysis, right? And if we talk about Comprehend, this will offer natural language processing for the text analysis. I repeat, this NLP, it will provide that is your natural language processing, will provide text analysis for the functions. Next, what is AWS Cloud Formation? AWS Cloud Formation will provide infrastructure provisioning and management. And this AWS Cloud Formation, this is a infrastructure as a code service, right? Correct? That is AWS Cloud Formation, as I mentioned, this provides infrastructure provisioning and management. Cloud Formation will template various infrastructure configuration and this will automate the deployment. That is your AWS Cloud Formation. Next, which AWS service provides DNS service? So DNS service is maintained by Route 53, right? It helps us to DNS routing and domain registration services. This Route 53 will integrate with other AWS services to enable seamless domain management. Next, what is AWS Elastic Beanstalk? This Elastic Beanstalk is basically to web application deployment service, or we can say in simple terms, it is a web application deployment service, correct? This will support the containerized and serverless application. It will support serverless applications, right? AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Next, which AWS service provides security monitoring? It is CloudTrail, right? AWS CloudTrail, they provides security monitoring and API activity tracking for the AWS resources. Here, this CloudTrail logs API calls. It provides various visibility into resources access and the usage. So AWS service provides security monitoring. It is CloudTrail. Next, what is AWS Glacier? AWS Glacier is basically a data archiving service, right? This will provide long-term data archiving. This will provide backup services. This Glacier will offer durable, secure, low-cost storage for infrequently accessed data, and it will be basically for long term. So this is your AWS Glacier. So these are your current MCQs, friends. We will be discussing more such MCQs in the coming videos, so stay tuned till the end.